Hi, I'm Katrina Madewell, and today I'm going to go over the 3 important steps that you can take to get your move on track, make it seamless, easy, and very cost effective. So today we're going to break this down into 3 parts: the before, the during when you're under contract, and almost the after, those final little tidbit things that will carry you into your next move. The first thing is start early. So this is where you're going to pre-pack, purge, declutter, get rid of all those items that you don't have any use for. You haven't touched it in easily 6 to 12 months. You want to go ahead and find a home for that. Go ahead and maybe even throw those items in the trash. Now, you also want to work from a punch list, right? So builders often refer this as a punch list, those last little remaining items that have to be done before the buyer takes possession in their home. So the same thing is true if you're in a resale and we're getting ready to sell a property. We will do a room by room review and we'll actually create a punch list of all these loose items that need to be done before you hit the market. Now, some of the things on this punch list are going to be some deferred maintenance items, right? Maybe you had a door that hit drywall and that's got to be repaired, or you have a torn screen, or your gutters are full. All those little things that have kind of been nagging at you, burnt out light bulbs, basic things like that. We're going to get all those things buttoned up on a punch list and get those all out of the way before you actually hit the market. So you've signed the listing agreement, you've picked a launch date, and now you know what your date is you're going to be on the market. That's what we call go time, right? So you're on the market, you've got everything ready, we're looking for a buyer, and then you go under contract. This is what we call the during process in the middle of your home sale. And in this process, you've already packed, purged, decluttered a bunch of stuff, but now you're actually going to be packing a lot of those final remaining items away. Step number 2, you're on the market, you've got a contract, and it's go time. So you've got to actually get a methodical plan in order so that you can plan and prepare to vacate on time by your closing date, right? Theoretically, the day before. Now, what we're going to do is actually, and I'm giving you tips, right, based as a professional and also my recent move. What I did was I had about 4 or 5 weeks from that particular time till the time that I had to be out. And so what we did was I got a notebook and I organized it from the stuff that goes last and will be unpacked first. For example, your coffee pot, right? No one wants to look for that when you get to a new home. We'll come to that later in a minute. But so that would be an example of some things like all the final kitchen items would be on the last page. So you're going to put that forward and have a list. And then the idea is, because a lot of people are working, right, while they're in the middle of a move, you make this super long list for each weekend and you try to tackle a couple of those things during the week. But the idea is to have all those things done by the end of that weekend on Sunday before you go into Monday. Now, what you're going to do is focus on room by room. So I'm going to give you an example. In my closet, right? I've been there forever and I needed to pare down significantly. I'd already packed up some stuff. I donated some stuff, but now I have a contract and I'm ready to go. So on that, for the closet, for example, I took out the 10 to 20 items that I wore the most, about 3 or 4 pairs of shoes, and just enough that if I were packing for a 2-week trip, that's what I would take with me. I took all those items, I put them on my bed, and then the rest of the closet was fair game. So I had boxes set up so I could sort quickly and easily, and I didn't hang on anything. So I sorted really quick and made a decision. Okay, this is going to donate, this is trash, this is going to be pre-packed because I'm not going to wear it between now and the time we move, but I still want it. And so that will help you go through your closet quickly, efficiently, and you could finish that particular task in one day. So that's an example of what I mean. So at the end of that, I had boxes ready for donation. I had some clothes that probably should have already been thrown away because they had holes in them or were hanging on them for whatever reason. And then I had the rest of my items that I knew I wanted to keep, but I wasn't going to use right now. I wouldn't pack it for a trip. So once you're done and you have your closet completely empty, I took those 20 items, rehung them in my closet, and that's what I had left that were my items I'm going to be wearing between now and the time I move. That's an example about going room by room. The next day you may pick a linen closet. The day after that you may choose to work in your bathroom and get everything all sorted, organized, labeled, maybe in smaller shoe bins was a good way to do it. Then you can pack all those things in a box. So that's what I mean by journeying. Have your list, work backwards, and that'll help you stay on track so that when moving day comes around, you're ready to rock. And my final little tip, this is what I call almost the after. It's the tail end of the during when you're under contract. About a week before closing, you want to make sure that all of your stuff is buttoned up. So for example, make sure that your mail is changed over, the utilities are scheduled to turn off, your internet services are good, the movers are lined up, those prices aren't going to change, all that sort of stuff. And then 1 week out, I recommend getting some of those heavy duty totes that you can get from either Lowe's, Home Depot, Costco. It's not a box, it's a heavy duty bin, like a tote. And then put those final items in there, especially the items you know you're going to be looking for as soon as you move. So I call this is last in, first out, right? So the items you know you're going to be looking for immediately as soon as you move, label that so you can put your hands on it right away. And then essentially you're going to put those items in a tub, put them at the edge of your container or truck so you can pull those off first. And then a last little tidbit on this, some high valuable items that you might be looking for. For example, maybe you have a small safe or checkbooks, or maybe you have a journal that you work on every day, HBA items that you would use every day to get ready, medication, anything like that you would use. You're going to basically take those items, put them in a small little plastic tote, and store them in your car. That way you have them with you and they're not packed up in a container or a truck somewhere that you can't easily get to. And last but not least, final little tidbit, and I'll sort of tie these two in together. If you can be out 1 day before your move, that's ideal, right? So if you're scheduled to be out on a Friday, I recommend having everything in that truck and completely out, like you feel like you're ready to walk out the door by Thursday night. You could leave your mattress if you need to, load it on the truck the next morning, but break down the bed frame, everything literally but a mattress, so there's nothing left to load but this, and then maybe your bins that you're putting in right behind it. And if you can, and it's an opportunity for you to move out and into your next place before you sell, that is always optimum. We know not everyone has the capacity, ability, or financial means to do this, but if it's an option for you, it will make it super, super smooth. Now, we covered this on Tampa Home Talk, and this was broken down in depth in about 8 things that you need to do to make your move smooth, efficient, easy. I've highlighted some of the big points here, but we actually went through a lot of those things in depth so that you can break those down and spend a little more time in that. It will help you. It will be invaluable in your move. As always, if you'd like some assistance, you're thinking about a move, you want to know what your home is worth, we can help you prepare and give you a room-by-room review, making your process simple and easy. Last but not least, if you don't want to go through putting your home on the open market, we do have the opportunity to sell off-market to some of our cash investors. I'm Katrina Madewell. Thanks for listening to my tips on how to make your move efficient and easy.